My name is Erik Yaneza, Section 1X, Amte 126. My discuss is Lesson 3. Oil reservoir. An oil reservoir must be large enough to hold an adequate supply of oil to lubricate an engine. The amount of oil that is considered adequate is based on the maximum endurance of the airplane and the maximum acceptable oil consumption rate plus a margin to ensure adequate circulation, lubrication, and cooling. The reservoir is typically placed close enough to the engine and high enough above the oil pump inlet to ensure reliable gravity field. Ang oil reservoir po ay karaniwang inilalagay na malapit sa makina at sa itaas ng oil pump inlet upang matiyak ang maasahang gravity feed. Scupper drain is basically a drain that is built into the filler cap well that disposes of any overflow caused by the filling operation and drained into overboard when servicing the tank. Most aircraft oil systems are equipped with the deep stick type quantity guard, sometimes refers to as bionic gen. Provide an outlet through parapet wall or gravel stop of flat and bolt up roof to allow drainage of excess water. Oil quantity indicating system show the quantity of oil during flight. One such system consists of a flat mechanism that rides on the surface of the oil and actuates as an electric transmitted on top of the tank. The transmitter sends a signal to a cockpit guide, which indicate oil quantity in gallon to prevent pressure build up and ensure proper ventilation in oil flight attitudes. An oil reservoir must be vented to the atmosphere. Some larger aircraft system also have an oil quantity indicating system that show the quantity of oil during flight. One type of system consists entirely of an arm and float mechanism that rides the level of the oil copper or temperature accelerating oil. Some oil reservoir, primarily those used with large radiating engines have a built-in hopper or temperature acceleration wall. The purpose of a hopper is to vertically isolate a portion of the oil within the reservoir during startup. By doing this, similar portion of the oil is circulated through the engine during startup, allowing the engine to warm up faster. Ang ito ay dapat gawin upang maiwasan ang pagpasok sa mismong tangke o sa labasan ng tangke ng anumang dayuhan, bagay o material na maaring magpabara sa pagdaloy ng langis sa system. Oil pump or lubrication system utilize constant displacement pump. Is designed to supply oil during pressure to the parts of the engine that require lubrication, then circulate the oil through coolers as needed and return the oil to the oil tank. Ito daw po ay dinisenyo upang magbigay ng langis sa ilalim ng presyon sa mga bahagi ng makina na nangangailangan ng pagpapadulas ng langis. Pagkatapos ay i-circulate ang langis sa pamamagitan ng mga cooler kung kinakailangan, at ibalik ang langis sa tangke ng the two type of constant displacement pump that are used in a reciprocating engine lubrication system include the gear pump and gear rotor pump. Gear pump, typically gear type pump consists of two mesh gear that rotate inside a housing. The gear and housing are precisely machined to keep clearance between them as small as possible. Oil is packaged up by the gear at the pump inlet and then become trapped between the teeth and housing as the gear rotor. The trapped oil is released at the pump outlet. Ito pong gear pump ay karaniwang ginagamit para sa pumping ng mataas na lagkit na liquid o langis gaya ng pintura, resin o pagkain at langis. Mas gusto ang mga ito sa anumang aplikasyon kung saan kinakailangan ang tumpak na dosing o mataas na presyo na output. Gear rotor pump, typically gear rotor type pump consists of an engine driven 4 gear that rotate within a free spinning rotor housing. The rotor and drive gear ride inside a housing that has two oblong opening. One opening is the oil inlet while the other is the oil outlet. Ito po ay ang typically na gerotor type pump ay binubuo ng engine driven 4 gear na umiikot sa loob ng free spinning rotor housing. Cabbage pump in indication to a pressure pump. Most drying sump system must utilize a cabbage pump to return oil to the oil reservoir. As a rule, cabbage pump have a capacity that is greater than the pressure pump. Ito daw po ay bilang karagdagan sa isang pressure pump. Karamihan ng mga dry sump system ay dapat gumamit ng cabbage pump upang ibalik ang langis sa oil reservoir. Pressure relief valve in order to ensure adequate engine lubrication and appropriate oil pressure must be maintained at oil times. Therefore, in order for an engine driven oil pump to maintain system pressure at low engine speed, it must produce excessive pressure at high engine speed. To prevent excessive pressure from damaging an engine, a pressure relief valve must be installed in the oil system. Ito po yung pressure relief valve na tinatawag. Typically, pressure relief valve consists of a spring-loaded valve that is held in the closest position. Within type of valve, when oil pressure resists above a present valve, the valve of set and return excess oil to reservoir or oil pump inlet. Most relief valve can be adjusted by turning a screw that increases or decreases spring pressure. The greater the spring pressure, the higher the resulting oil pressure. Some simple relief valve spring tension and adjusted by either changing the spring or inserting one or more washer behind the spring. Ito daw po ay karamihan ng mga relief valve ay maaaring iayos sa pamamagitan ng pihit ng tornilyo na nagpapataas o nagpapababa ng tension ng spring. Kung mas malaki ang tension ng resulting pressure ng langis sa ilang simpleng relief valve, at ito po ay inaayos ng tension ng spring sa pamamagitan ng pagpapalit ng spring o pagpasok ng isa o higit pang washer sa likod ng spring. Yan na po. Compensated oil relief pressure relief valve. Compensator of pressure relief valve maintain a higher system pressure when the oil is cold. Then once the oil warms up, it's automatically lower pressure to the normal operator range. Indication: compensated or pressure relief valve when the oil is cold, the high and low pressure spring. Load the relief valve close to maintain an elevated system pressure. However, once the oil has warmed, the temporarily valve are pressurized. Oil the enter relief valve and remove the high pressure spring pressure for the relief valve. Dito daw po ay kapag umiinit na ang langis, pinapayagan ng thermostatic valve na makapasok ang may tension ng langis sa relief valve at alisin ang high pressure spring pressure mula sa relief valve. Oil filter. The purpose of the filter is to remove solid particles that are suspended in the oil. This filtration is required to protect the engine moving part from solid contaminant. There are two types of filter system that may be installed in aircraft engine: full flow system and bypass system. Itong oil filter po ay isang filter na idinisenyo upang alisin ang mga contaminant mula sa engine oil, saka sa transmission oil at lubrication oil, saka hydraulic oil. Full flow filtration system. All of the engine oil passes through a filter each time and circulate through an engine. Yan po yung pag-circulate ng engine, nasa picture naman po. Ito daw po ay nagbibigay ng mahalagang protection sa makina. Ang mga full flow na filter ay dapat kumukuha at mapanatili po ang mga nakakapinsalang contaminant at may sapat na kapasilidad sa paghawak ng dumi upang makamit o kaya ay para po maging maayos yung mga kinakailangang agwat ng ng filter. Bypass or partial flow system. The filter is installed in parallel with the engine bearings. In this type of system, only about 10% of the oil is filtered each time the oil circulates through the system. For requirements dictate that all oil filter be constructed and installed in a way that permit full oil flow, even if the filter become completely cold. And on a full flow filter system, some means of bypassing the filter must be provided. One way to meet these requirements is to incorporate an oil bypass valve that automatically let oil bypass the filter entirely once it becomes flooded. Ito daw po ay batayan kailangan pong lamang magproseso ang kaunting langis dahil sinasala lamang nito kung ano ang lumalampas sa makina, kaya't ito po ay pinapayagan ang unit na magbigay ng pagsasala ng langis sa mas mataas na level po. Filter elements. The approved filtration method include deep filtration, semi-deep filtration, surface filtration, and edge filtration. Deep filtration consists of a matrix of fibers that are closely packaged to a depth of about 1 inch. Oil flow through this mat and contaminants are trapped in the fiber. Deep type filter are very effective because the large number of filter used have the capacity to trap a large quantity of contaminant. Ito daw pong deep filtration ay ginagamit upang alisin ang malawak na hanay ng mga particle tulad ng dumi, grit, saka buhangin, mga organic na solid at kalawang na particle. Semi-deep filter made of recent impregnated fiber. This fiber are formed into a long sheet folded into plate and assembled around a perforated sheet core. Ito daw po ay ang deep filtration ito po ay gumagamit ng pores na paraan ng pagsasala upang mapanatili ang mga particles sa loob ng lalim ng medium sa halip na hawakan lamang ang mga ito sa ibabaw. Surface filtration. This screen filter is useful for trapping some of the larger contaminants that flow through the engine. However, it does little to catch the small contaminant. Because of this, some engines that use an oil screen also rely on a second fine filter to catch any remaining contaminant. Ito daw po ay kakaunti ang gagawin nito upang mahuli ang maliliit na contaminant. Dahil dito umaasa po rin ang ilang makina na gumagamit ng oil screen sa isang segundo pinong filter upang mahuli ang anumang natitirang mga contaminant. Edge filtration. Edge filtration may be either the spiral wood or cone type. Spiral wood elimination consists of a long strip of wedge-shaped material that is wound into tight spiral ridge along the interlink of the strip. Separate the turn of the spiral uniform amount. The cone filter consists of a large number of thin metal discs that are tacked on a center shape. Then space which are attached to the filter housing separate the discs so oil can pass between the discs. Ito po ay ang spiral wound element ay binubuo ng isang mahabang strip ng wedge-shaped na metal na nasugatan sa isang masikip na spiral. Ang mga sa buong haba ng trip ay naghihiwalay sa mga pagliko ng spiral sa isang pirasong halaga. Oil cooler exists heat and removed by an oil cooler or oil temperature regulator. An oil cooler is an oil to air heat exchanger. One type of oil cooler consists of a core with several copper or aluminum tubes include in a double-walled annular shield or bypass jacket. The exact amount of oil that flow through the core controlled by thermoplastic control valve, also referred to as a bypass valve or flow control valve. When the oil is called the bypass valve, is slowly open and oil flow through the bypass jacket. And however, as the oil warm up, the bypass valve slowly closed, thereby forcing oil through the cooler core. Ito daw pong oil cooler ay isang hiwalay sa mas maliit na radiator sa pangunahing radiator ng engine na nagpapanatili po ng supply ng langis sa pare-parehong pinakamainam na temperatura. Surge protection valve. If the oil within an oil cooler become congelate and excessive oil pressure build at the oil cooler inlet, the large valve will open and allow the oil to bypass the oil cooler. Dito daw po ay kung ang langis sa loob ng isang oil cooler ay bumuo at ang labis na tension ng langis ay nabuo sa na pumasok na oil cooler, ang surge valve ay magbubukas at hahayaan ang langis na lumabas ang oil cooler. Oil pressure gear. The oil pressure gear indicate the pressure that oil enters the engine from the pump. This gear warm of possible engine fluid consists by an exhausted oil supply, failure of the oil pump, rupture oil line, or other cause that may be indicated by loss of oil pressure. Must oil pressure guide in calibrated in pound per square inch. Ito daw po ay ang gear na ito ay posibleng pagkabigo ng makina na nasanhi ng pagkaubos ng supply ng langis, pagkabigo ng oil pump, pagkaputol ng mga linya ng langis o iba pang dahilan na maaring ipahiwatig ng pagkawala ng tension ng langis. Karamihan sa oil pressure gear ay calibrate sa pound per square inch. Oil temperature gear. The oil temperature gear allow you to monitor the temperature of the oil entering the engine. This is important because oil circulation called the engine as it lubricated the moving part, and most oil temperature guides are calibrated in degrees Fahrenheit, and since oil temperature at the engine oil inlet. Ito pong ito po ay mechanical na unit na ito ay tumutulong na subaybayan ang temperatura ng langis ng makina upang matiyak na ito ay nasa loob ng isang mahusay na hanay ng temperatura. Yun lang po.